Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV podcast, episode 31 here at Anarchy Brewery. But for the first time in 31 weeks, it's gotten the better of us, right? It's been
Someone just kind of handle it.
Someone just kind of handle the craft beers, man. Can't handle the craft beers, right? I'm on the Stifler American Pie Cups. Just juice inside there, promise.
Representing
yeah.
Liam
I wouldn't lie, I'd rather have a pint. But tell you what, been on a drink since Forest last week, yeah? Annual charity golf day yesterday. Sunk a few then. Sunday at the game. Sunk many a few. So we're on a little detox. So that's me. But
doing up Lehman No this week.
we are, but who's not being a softie this week is you. What are you drinking?
I mean, I've only got the one. Normally we would have a couple because I feel you. I want a detox, but I just can't do it, man.
You're going to America as soon as you need detox.
All I can do is cut it in half. I get to America next week where I'm going to be putting plenty tuners. So just to try and trim it down a little bit, the food and the drink for the next week until I gorge in a couple of weeks. Then but so today I've just got the one. I say normally have two, just to get them Anarchy Brew sponsorships in. Just get the cans in, let people see what we're drinking. But this week only got the one Skin Deep Volume 2 Pale Ale. Lovely
Pale Ale Stifler. Yeah. Right, and I'm just going to get the QR code on your screen, Peter, because next week we could have got a can ready. Actually, we should have done that. Go run and get one. Kay's going to go run and get the brand new War beer cans. They're not in the fridge yet, so I tell you what, if they were in the fridge, I probably would have drank one. But they are ready to be shipped. They are ready to be sold and stocked up. So we'll show you that on the screen now as Keg goes, sprints and gets one, Jacob Murphy style. And I'll also put this on the bottom of the screen where you can scan the QR code and head to the website yourselves to grab yourselves a pack of War beer and support War flags in the process. Here he is at the back post. Ooh, the brand new can. 3, 2, 1. Bosh! For those that are listening, you just need to tune in on YouTube as well because there is the unbelievable new design of War beer for the upcoming season. Look at this. And as a reminder, 50 pence from each can is donated to War flags from this. So keep that in mind. Look at that. That is one of the best cans I've ever seen in my life.
Tremendous.
Up there with the War beer, to be fair. I loved that last year.
Yeah, the special European version.
There it is. We'll put them at the front there so you can enjoy them. You can see them in the way there. There you go. And I'll be drinking that next week. Put it that way. Make sure that's in the fridge next week, lads.
Just brewed, just stickhead. Yeah. They're a little bit warm there, just came from the front, but yeah, they'll be in the fridge, ready to go.
You can scan the QR code and get yourselves a pack right now. Let's get it in keg. It is the international break. We'll touch on that at the end of the show because I don't want to talk about it too much. I'm getting PTSD of this summer spent in here watching those snooze fest England games, talking about England again in here. So we'll put that at the back of our minds for now. We'll obviously touch over the transfer window briefly as well because I did a live stream on deadline day, ranting away a little bit. But I want your thoughts on it, Keg, and see where we're going to go forward. But let's pick up, first of all, on that 2-1 win over Tottenham Hotspur on Sunday afternoon.
Jesus.
And by that noise you've just made, I guess it sums up maybe the performance, but the results are still coming, man.
That's the mad thing. We've played 4 games so far this season, 3 in the league, 1 in the cup. And we're unbeaten, but we've been shit. Like, I don't think there's a game where we've been good. I think the highlight was probably Southampton because of the resilience. Like, it was a bad game, but with the early red card and whatnot, like, we're stuck at us. Like, we're played hard. We're grinded out a result, and that was phenomenal in the face of adversity. Tottenham's a good result because it's a good team, best team that we've played so far this season, like Southampton, Bournemouth, and Forest. Not the best of teams. 3 teams is going to be probably down there in the relegation battle, bottom half of the league at least. Yeah, Tottenham's a phenomenal team. But yeah, the performance was shocking. But like, we're unbeaten so far.
Unbeaten, baby.
Yeah.
Invincible season's on.
But I feel like for Tottenham, they must be fuming. If they came up for that game, going back to London must have been a long game, and you must just be looking at thinking, how the fuck didn't we win that game?
Or at least get a draw.
Because even the goal that they scored was an awful mistake from Nick Pope. It was horrible goalkeeping. Dan Burn could have done better, but felt like he needed to do something, but just ended up blasting the ball into the back of the net. And that was the only goal they scored. Like, how? Like, we scored 2. They scored that one horrible, horrible goal. They had 65% possession, 20 shots to 9, 6 on target to 3. But they weren't that great, really. Like in the final third, Brennan Johnson coming on in the second half time. He was class.
£50 million player, not starting, but his end product's been questioned now, hasn't it?
Well,
really?
yeah, end product's not the best, but yeah, he sparked a bit of life into them, and they looked better. So yeah, like again, like resilience though. Like we weren't the better team. We were awful. We were really, really horrible. But we scored 2 goals and we kept them out. We kept them to 1 scrappy, horrible goal. So credit to the boys, I suppose.
Massive credit. Massive credit to the boys. Yeah. But on Spurs, I was watching the game back the day, and obviously I was there at the game on Sunday, but I was in the box and I had a few Guinnesses and I had a few beers. So the memory wasn't the best. Yeah. Watched it back the day, and honestly, the amount of chances that Spurs, and not necessarily missed, it was when they got in and around the penalty box and they just were so wasteful, especially Son. There was one where Son was in there and he had options to his left, to his right, and he took ages and then eventually just pinged it straight up. Like, we've got to be thankful that they didn't have an Isak up front.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they didn't score a legitimate goal. Like, we gifted them that goal. But for a team as good as they are, with the possession, with the shots, if that was like City or Liverpool or something, we would have been torn to shreds.
Guess who's up next to St. James Park?
Yeah, can't wait for that.
Ian Holland.
But, like, they want to hang their heads in shame. Like, for the fans that came up, going back to London, must just be thinking, what the fuck happened there? Yeah. How have we not even like scored a legitimate goal, or at least getting a couple and getting at least a point out of this? Like, because Newcastle were bad.
Oh, we're bad. We've been bad in every game, but for some bizarre reason,
4th in the league.
We're 5th now, but honestly, to be up there,
6 out of 9 points
is class. 7 out of 9. Happy days. Very happy days, and through the next round of the cup as well.
Yeah.
We haven't seen you since the Forest game. I was there. Another way that we've done this match every season, isn't it? Not playing well, got through.
To be fair, I watched back the podcast from last week, and you did say that it felt like penalties. I could feel it and all. I said it would be like a horrible, scrappy game. I didn't feel confident in it, but thought we would scrape through either 2-1, 1-0. But it was 1-1. Took an early lead. They scored pretty good goal. Now, to be fair, that strike was into the top bins and off the bar. It was a pretty good strike, that, to be fair. But yeah, done what we needed to do. Got the win. 1-1 at 90 minutes, but done what we need to do on penalties. So yeah, another scrappy, less than impressive game, but through, baby.
And we actually got a decent draw for once. Not at home.
Not at home. Nah, of course not. Can't ask for too much.
Yeah. But that's obviously just been announced in the last couple of hours. We'll be playing at the Cherry Records Stadium.
Cherry Records.
AFC Wimbledon, the Dons. Don Robbie. His side on Tuesday, is it 29th? Is it 27th?
25th?
24th?
5th?
Something like that. Last Tuesday, September, basically, isn't it? 7:45 kick-off. 24th. Yeah. So that's on a Tuesday night. That's going to be on Sky. We'll probably have to move the podcast, obviously, for that one. So just a heads up on that one.
Probably on the Wednesday.
That's got a bit of a banana skin written on it, but surely a nice win for Newcastle still?
Yeah, you would like to think so. And I think this is one of the games where we can't afford to rotate a little bit. I know Eddie Howe will say that he wants to play a strong team and go as far as he possibly can in the cup. But yeah, I think we can still play a rotated but strong enough team to get through League 2 Wimbledon. So yeah, confident in that. But having that being said, we were just talking about it on the way here, like the City and United game last season, the lineup was shocking and we still managed to get through, to be fair. Like, so in terms of Eddie Howe saying that he wants to play a strong team and get as far as he possibly can, them lineups would have said differently. But we won both games, so credit Eddie Howe. And the Forest game was a strong team, slightly rotated as I expected. Like I say, rotated but strong enough. Got it. So yeah, this one I feel like we can play like Yarasulas and maybe like a couple more like fringe players. Like get like, let's say we can play a rotated team, but still far strong enough to beat Wimbledon. No disrespect to Wimbledon, but
don't speak to that too soon, man.
Yeah, in League 2 we can rotate but still play a strong team like fringe players. Maybe give Matt Target a run out.
Yeah, well, he's on £100 a week. Should we do something?
Yeah, you're like Yarasulas, people like that. Fight for Murphy Almiron on the right wing and whoever in the middle. Maybe he's one of the younguns, Alfie Harrison or something like that. But yeah, I feel like we're going to go down there to the Cherry Records Stadium?
Cherry Records Stadium.
Yeah, fringe players, strong players. Give the likes of Isak a well-rested knee, like your Gordons and people like that. Play one of the 5 backup goalkeepers, drop Nick Pope for a game.
Keith?
Well, yeah, maybe Keith. Big Keith in goal.
Big John Ruddy, let's have it.
Yeah, someone like that. Get fucking Odyssey a guy, news.
Well, he may as well. He's still here, isn't he?
Paid him a bunch of money.
Still here. May as well, aye. Yeah, see what he's made of. But we'll touch on that game more so as it comes round. There's a question there just on the cup, just on that, from Chris, I think it was. No, it was on Marshall James. What's the word on Willock? Any idea how long he'll be out? Because obviously he went off injured in that game last week against Forest after scoring a
typical. Yeah, just as he did against United last year.
Yeah, so painfully typical with Joe Willock, man. But apparently it's a thigh strain. It'll be a few weeks. It's hopefully nothing serious.
Not as bad as we thought it was, aye.
Yeah, not as bad as feared. But it's just the same story. Willock, and he comes in, plays well.
Scores a goal.
Gets injured.
That's it. See you later.
Callum Wilson.
Good for the season, no?
I'm devastated for him, man.
I know, me too, because
he's
so good, man.
That's what you need. Or
at least forget how good he is. Like, like his pace and stuff. Like, I'm frightened he'll lose like half a yard because that's his best attribute. Like, his unrecognizable pace. Like, I don't think people give him credit for like how fast he actually is. But yeah, when he gets on and like he has games like he did against Man United last year and Forest this year, like, he's so good, man. Like, he can score goals. Like, he's just got all the... Remember his assist for Isaac in the Tottenham 6-1 game?
Oh, the outside the field.
Oh, my God. He's such a good player, man. Like, people forget just because he's just always on the sidelines that you forget how good he is.
Yeah. I was looking at this thing that I think Arsenal put out. Arsenal fans were talking about the last team that they won a trophy and Willock was starting in the FA Cup final. And it just shows you, like, you forget how good of a player he was and important he was for them. And then we spent 25 million on him. Oh, yeah. Big money at the time.
How old was he starting for Arsenal? He must have been about 19, 20 or something.
Well, he's been there since he was young, wasn't he? But he didn't play this time around against Spurs, but the front three, we debated it last week in the podcast, Keg, and it was indeed this time Barnes on the left, Anthony Gordon on the right, Isaac down the middle.
Yeah.
And they were combining nicely, especially that moment I watched back today, where for the first time ever, and the one only time in that game, the other 100 times he kicked the ball, Nick Pope was atrocious. But this time, he did kick it, side foot, Gordon took a brilliant touch away from the defender, opened up the space, passed it through, and we had an effort from there where Harvey Barnes was inches away from the top corner. But they linked up well. They were swapping a bit as well, especially as the game went on, swapping flanks. It's the way it's going to have to be now, especially without saying the right winger, you'd think. Well, even though Jacob Murphy came on and got an assist from the right wing.
He did. Other than that, like one or two moments, bar that, he didn't really impress me. It was the same as the Bournemouth game. He was keep getting picked off. Like it happened so many times. That's one of the more frustrating things in that Tottenham game for me. Just the same as Bournemouth. Like, we didn't learn anything. Like, you keep losing possession. Just keep getting pickpocketed or like stray passes getting intercepted. Like, it just happened loads and loads in our own half. Just the exact same as Bournemouth. Happened against Tottenham again. Like, that's one thing that we really need to work on and seriously worrying me so far this season. Like, 2 games that we've played badly and we're just gifting opportunities to teams. Like, if that was like City or Liverpool, they're going to absolutely punish you. So yeah, that happened a few times, a couple of times, I think, at least for Murphy. But then, yeah, got good assist, like nice play. But for me, right wing, it's still a little bit of a tricky one for me because I don't think we're really getting the best out of Gordon. I think for me, he goes a little bit quiet. Like, whoever's on the left wing, the more natural position, whether it's Gordon or Barnes, you're seeing the best out of them because that's their natural position. Gordon, is it a better option than having Murphy on? At the minute, yes, but we're losing our key man. That's what I'm worried about because Barnes has stepped up, so it's not like we're necessarily losing anyone. But Gordon was arguably our best player last season, if not second best player last season, whichever way you want to spin it. But yeah, for now, like, it seems like he's been replaced by Barnes to go over and do Murphy or Almiron's job just because we didn't sign a replacement, but then we're not getting the best out of him now. So it's a bit of a catch-22. Like, are we better off just keeping Barnes on the bench as good as he's been and just putting up with Murphy maybes? Like, I don't know. Like, I'd stick with it because it's only really been one start. The Tottenham game's the only one he started, then we're switched to that during the Bournemouth game. So I'd stick at it for a couple of games and see if we can get Gordon more involved or at least get better product from him, like try and use the right wing a little bit more instead of kind of keeping it on the left where we know we're probably better. But yeah, it's something to look out for. Like I say, I think just stick at it and give it a few more games and see if we can like continue developing it.
I think Gordon did look better in the second half when he is on that left-hand side.
Left, yeah.
Really, the balance is obviously better with Jacob Murphy there, but I think the way Barnes is looking like he's got a point to prove this year.
Yeah, it's hard to drop him.
He's scoring goals.
He's probably been my best player this season, arguably.
I think so, He's definitely up there.
It's hard to drop him.
You know, he's been a real threat. That cut and side on his right, he can do that with both, you know, his right and left foot. So at least there's options there, because without signing the right winger, you know, it was worrying.
Something that we probably had to do, really.
They should have done, And you got people in the chat there. You got Chris saying, why didn't we go for Sterling? Arsenal are paying 100 grand of his wages, while Chelsea are still paying 200 grand. So they're paying more of his wages. So could we have not got Sterling for 100 grand a week? I think we could have, surely. So maybe that was something.
He's probably better on the left than I, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And if he's, let's be real, if he's got a choice to stay in London or Arsenal, or come to Newcastle, he's going to stay in Arsenal.
Of course he is.
Stay in London, go Arsenal.
So I think we were linked with quite a few wingers in the summer, but most of them were all better left-sided. It's like, we didn't need that. No. We're just going to be back to the same situation where we're having to force someone over onto the right-hand side where that maybe is not at their best. So, Sterling would just be a pointless signing for me, really.
Chiesa would have been the one, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that's the one that we wanted also.
Fairly going to get a game for them.
Yeah.
Because Salah.
Send him out on loan. Did they sign the goalkeeper?
Who's that?
Mamardashvili.
Send him out, but he's not coming until 2020.
Yeah, he's on loan, isn't he? So yeah, Chiesa could have done that. Like Salah's there.
We'll
just keep one for you. Sorry.
But would you take a punt on Depay for free? Says 80 Wolf, who's a member. Shout out 80 Wolf for that.
Again, probably better on the left, isn't he?
Even down the middle is where he plays for Holland a lot now, isn't it? False nine.
Yeah.
I mean, for a free,
I would have took Memphis Depay.
I mean, if I've got an option of bringing off Depay from the bench or Almiron, I'm picking Memphis instead of Miggy.
Or Rasula.
Yeah. Or Rasula, right.
Yeah, I would have took Memphis, definitely.
Obviously Sancho as well, who went to Chelsea, 25 million obligation.
Well, we spoke about him a few times. I would have took Sancho, definitely.
I think Eddie Howe would have revitalised Sancho's career.
Well, we spoke about that a few times when we were looking at targets, because he actually is like a right winger.
Nah, he is.
Yeah, he's like a natural right winger, and he had a bit of a shitty spell at Man United. Didn't get along with
Eric.
Big Bally Eric. Dortmund, he was class. He went back to Dortmund and revived his career.
Exactly.
I think someone like Eddie Howe, who's a good manager. I keep saying man management, that's not the word I'm talking about.
Manager.
I think Eddie Howe could really get the best out of him and revive his career in England, where I'm sure he wants to play. I'm sure he's quite happy in Dortmund, but English lad, I'm sure he wants to come back home. I think Newcastle would have been a great spot for him. Getting Chelsea, that's going to be out for him.
It's going to be the same old.
Yeah, he's just in the depth chart of about 49 right wingers.
I know.
Can you play on the left? Oh, there's 62 on the left. Can you play as a striker? Can you play down the middle? There's about 16 there. Just what's the point in getting Chelsea for anyone?
It's mad Chelsea getting him because they've literally got Madueke, who's been on fire.
There's been rumoured to be loans. He was one that we were linked with. Fair enough. If you're going to get Sancho in, loan us Madueke.
Yeah. And he was been on scoring hat-tricks and that. And then
Cole Palmer's the starter.
Mad, man.
So you got Palmer, Madueke, Sterling's gone out. Sancho. You got the Mudryk. He was meant to be going out on loan. He didn't. Did Broja went to Everton, didn't he?
Did he go down there, did he?
There's got so many players. It just makes no sense. No one's going to get a sniff.
We've got knee right wingers. They've got a right winger for every competition. Sancho will only be playing Conference League on Thursday. You know what I mean?
Palmer in the Prem, Madueke in the Cup. Sancho in Europe, ideal.
Mudryk in the caravan. Oh my days. Well, people asking about free transfers. This was going to be a topic. We'll just rattle through some of your questions while we're on it. Joel Matip. Do we need a centre back? Krafth, who's on fire?
He's still going free, is he?
Aye. Apparently he's linked to West Ham.
West Ham always get our sloppy seconds, so that wouldn't be surprising. For a free, I would take I think his wages would be quite high, but he's with 32, isn't he? 32, 33, so you can maybe reduce them a tiny bit. Then
you'd be on now at the minute, free agent.
Well, true, but I think his demands would be quite high. But we could say we'll give you 70 if you didn't make it fuck off.
No, if you can keep on zero.
What do you rather have, 70 grand a week or absolutely not? I mean, your choice.
David De Gea like that. Didn't he? Anyone was maxing his wage demands for a year and a half or something, so he's just stayed on the door. But
what's he getting at Fiorentina?
I don't know.
I'm sure he was on. What was he like? 390 or something like that.
Hermoso, he'd be quality signing the centre back. Hermoso, that'd be lovely. Rabiot, the midfielder.
Rabiot, is he free?
Aye. You could ask yourself, why has no one took these players? Because they must be asking for a lot of money, otherwise someone would take it.
Would we need Rabiot?
Nah.
Yeah.
Don't need Rabiot. I would take Tonali back.
I would take him because he's a good player, but he's not really the kind of player that we need because we're quite strong in centre mid. So, yeah.
I would definitely have... Oh, is Hermoso joined Roma? Someone's just said there.
Oh, did he? I didn't see
Should have had Hermoso, but joined Roma.
Liberty.
Well, let's get mad before you get into the hammers. Because Krafth gets injured. We are knackered.
Well, so absolutely.
Sean's back next, but won't be long before he gets sent off or injured again. So then we'll be double screwed.
Yeah.
Anyways, what was next on the agenda? Talking to centre backs, Dan Burns' own goal. That was a good strike, wasn't it?
Oh, Krafth! Bang!
Bang! See you later.
One hit, bosh. No worries. Is Shaw back? Is he? Or has he got one more?
Oh, he's back now.
Is he?
He's done 3 because he did the cup now.
Fucking hell, that was quick. Oh, yeah.
Away.
That seems like it just flew over. Felt like you had one more left in him. Oh, well, no mind. Wicked.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, Dan Burn, what the hell was he doing? Pope didn't help him, did he?
No,
I
feel like Burn felt like he had to do something. I don't think he wasn't perfect. I'm not trying to get him out of the shit here, but I felt like Pope was that bad. Like second time in the game, he done something like that. I think first time was it Maddison, I think, cut in on the left, right-footed shot. No real power on it. Could have caught it, but I think he pushed it out for a corner. It's like you've just given them a corner away when you could have caught that. That really pisses me off. That's why I think you had a shit. I think you made 2 really good saves, but the rest of it, he was fucking shit. His distribution again terrible. But for the goal, I think it was Werner cut in right and then shoveled it back across the 6-yard line, across the 6-yard box to Brennan Johnson, who was their informed player at the time. He was waiting to score a goal. You just, instead of catching it, you've shoveled it to their most dangerous player. And he's got a save on it as Johnson's put it back across goal. So, yeah, Burns, I think, just not sure of his surroundings. I don't think he knew if, Werner or Maddison or something was going to come in. So he felt I'm going to have to try and just swing a boot at this and try and get it clear just in case someone's behind us. He obviously didn't get a shout. So he wasn't sure what the situation was. From our vision, we could say that no one really was behind him and he maybe could have let it go clear or at least give them a corner or whatever. But he didn't know and just swung a wild boot at it and just blasted it top corner. So it was horrible from Burn, but I sympathise with him slightly. He definitely could have dealt with it better, but Pope left him in the shit. Pope put him in a desperate situation. Yeah,
he looked at that as well when Burn kind of looked guilty, but then Pope looked just as guilty, and he kind of pushed him away, being they both were apologising to each other in a sense, or both looking at each other thinking, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, it's horrible. Both of them were gifted. If Pope just held on to it, piece of piss, no worries, problem dealt.
Yeah, and you thought at that point, Spurs were then in the ascendancy, but Big Joe Linton, middle of the park, lovely turn away from Maddison, great through ball, Jacob Murphy, very unselfishly on a plate for Isak, who I think he scored 5 goals now against Tottenham. Loves playing against them.
It's been, 3 games? They just all at home. He scored 2 seasons ago in the 6-1 game.
Yeah.
Did he score against them last year? Because we beat them 4-0 last year, didn't we? Did he score 2? Aye. But yeah, on fire.
Firing them in. Loves it against Spurs. But we're keeping that good record against Spurs at home. You know what I mean? That's
love playing Spurs at home.
Top 4 challenger. We always do them over nicely. And absolutely hates coming to St. James's Park, doesn't he?
Fucking hates it.
Absolutely hates it. But at the back, next to Dan Burn, was the main man. Your man. You stuck up for him for many years,
yeah, KDL.
Yeah. You stuck up for him for a while. In my days, he is really flourishing now, and he's really showcasing and taking his opportunity, and he really, with the absolute shitstorm that's in front of us, the short suspension, not getting Gahey, all the rest of it. The right back from Sweden is slotting at centre back like a natural. Class. Doing a great job.
Yeah, Emil Krafth too. Yeah, I'm the president of the KDL, the Krafth Defence League. Always have been, always backed him. I think he always had a bad rep because his first couple of games when he first signed under Brucey were bad. He had a couple of bad games, and he was just never able to shake that. But I feel like fans have just been harsh. I think they still are. I still think he hasn't shaken off them games. I think fans still get on his back. But for me, he's reliable when called upon. He's not a starter. He's a backup, versatile, reliable guy who slots in when needs to and always puts in a shift when he needs to. He's never going to be a starter. If Shaw's back now, and I'm sure he'll go straight into that lineup, but I don't think there's any kind of genuine conversation should we start Krafth ahead of Shaw?
I think there should be now.
Well, I just don't think that there will be. I do agree, but yeah, for me, a few weeks ago on the podcast, I can't remember which week it was, we done I think the title was something to do with Shaw being our best ever bargain.
Oh, yeah.
Let's remember, Krafth was brought in for 4.5 5 years ago as a backup right back.
I've never heard of him.
No, me either.
Don't think anyone has.
He's a Swedish international. Where did he even come from? It was French league, wasn't it? Like a
Rems or something.
I can't remember. One of the
Strasbourg or something.
Something like that. No one even fucking has.
Yeah. Let me know in the chat where the Krafth come from.
He came in 4.5 million as a backup right back. He's still here 5 years later and slots in reliably at right side centre back, right back, whenever you need him. But he never whinges. A couple of years ago, done his ACL.
Exactly, I would forget about that as well.
When we're signing Trippier only played about 4 or 5 games, and he was out for the majority of the rest of the season. Krafth came in and was fucking phenomenal, filling in for Trippier at the back end of the season, 3 seasons ago. So when called upon in either position, he's so reliable and dependable. Like, he's not a superstar and a mega star, so he completely gets forgotten about. But when are we going to start singing his praises? Get him war flags. Get him a fucking banner.
Get him a flag, war
Krafth
flags.
do. Like, he really is such a reliable player.
Does deserve one.
Yeah.
Tonali had a lovely display, but we need at least a nice little tribute to Emil Krafth there.
Yeah, I think he deserves it, mate.
Does I? Amiens.
Yeah, that's right.
How do you pronounce that?
Amiens, I think.
Amiens. Yeah, and I've never even heard of them either.
Yeah, I think they might got relegated that season, to be fair.
I was going to say they definitely have.
Or they were down the bottom. They either got
French league
relegated or they were in the shit in the French league before he came now. So.
Warcraft beer. Yes. We need a little picture of Krafth on the back. Yeah? I mean, the magpie.
Yeah.
Monty on there.
Get that magpie off. Get Krafth
Much
on.
as we love magpies around here, Krafth needs a little limited edition can. See what we can do. But I tell you what, you're saying there, Shaw slot straight back in, which he probably will, because let's be real, he is obviously the better, more natural centre-back. But I'd feel really sorry for Krafth if he was just chucked out the team.
Doesn't deserve it, but that's kind of like what he's going to come to expect. Like, because we know he's a squad player.
I suppose we've got 3 tough away games in a week after the break. You've got Wolves on the Sunday, Wimbledon on the Tuesday, and then the following Saturday against Fulham at 3 at Craven Cottage as well. So he probably...
So that's your rotation there for
Wolves. He comes in back in on Tuesday.
Wimbledon, I stick him in against Wimbledon.
Yeah. Aye, that'll be nice. That'll be fair. That'll probably work out well. But honestly, huge credit Emil Krafth. Like,
absolutely.
Deserves the praises. You said a few million quid a few years ago. Absolute nobody. And he's not even playing his natural position. Yeah. But he's just thriving. And this goes back to, where you don't always need to look at and sign massive
£70 million centre backs.
If you can get a Krafth there who's giving you 7 out of 10s every week for pennies, like, how much better? Obviously, consistently, like a Gay, he's going to be better every week. But really, in terms of game changing, you can have bargains. And you can have, that's what your scouts and that's what your Mitchells and that should be doing. Finding, they go do a Botman, I suppose. Botman for 30, 35 is a bargain. But there is players out there where you don't have to look and go, War England shirt in the summer for the Euros. Let's play massive money for him. And then not let him get them.
Shaw and Krafth were a combined 7.5 million.
That's insane.
Both about Krafth was 5 years ago, Shaw 6 or 7.
Aye. Even Dan Burn for 12. It was brilliant. If you think of them two, that centre back partnership was just over 15 million against Spurs. And they're saying Dragerson, Van der Ven didn't make it on the weekend.
Romero must have cost a canny bit.
Romero was with 40, 50 million money. Fucking hell. How's that one pan out? Sticky World Cup winning Romero's up your arse. We got Krafth. And as we mentioned before briefly, war flags are the midfield maestro display for Sandro Tonali, who came off the bench in that second half. Over 316 days since his last Premier League appearance. What a wait that is. October last year, man. And he came back into the side keg when we were drawn, finished the game as a winner. That's all you need to know. Born champion.
He did. And I think he just steadied the ship. I don't really think you had to do too much. He didn't really do anything that really stood out. But I think when at the time it was 1-1, and it came on, steadied the ship, a couple of neat passes, just cool composure, just picked up where he left off. Just what you expect from Sandro. That's the kind of player that he is. Just a cool character in the middle of the park. Just short passes, long passes, calm on the ball. I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. Obviously, got the surprise start. We didn't touch on that against Forest.
I wouldn't expect that one.
I didn't think we should have, but I respect that we did and got a good hour under his belt. So,
been
nice.
sick and everything, nearly passed out, but he did it.
And when did he come on the other day? He must have only got 15, 20 minutes or something like that.
6 minutes or something like that. 60 odd minutes.
Yeah, good to see him getting eased in, but hopefully after the international break, which he's Fucking picked up by Italy.
Oh, no.
I'm buzzing for him for that. But yeah, that's another one that I'm quite surprised at.
Well, let's pray no that happens and he has a RE time out there, fitness-wise. Obviously, no knocks, no injuries, please, Sandro. Be typical Newcastle way, 300 days.
I'd rather he didn't go, but I'm buzzing for him.
Just the Nations League, isn't it? Settle down. No, it is really good for him, though, because that'll be huge for his mentality.
Big confidence booster.
Big time.
Because I'm sure he missing the Euros. Like,
would have been a killer.
As soon as the length of the suspension was mentioned and he knew he'd be out for the Euros, I'm sure that would have been the biggest thing that he'd be pissed off about. Like, not just missing the entire season, basically, first season for Newcastle, but missing the Euros for Italy. Like, I'm sure that would have been a dagger to the heart. But yeah, like now, straight away, he's been unsuspended for fucking 4 days. Bang, straight in the international squad again. Get in.
To be fair, he had a poor Euros, so they need him as well. Just as much as we do.
They were very good.
Had a poor Euros, so they'll be waiting on welcoming him back.
Won the last Euros when he was in the team, didn't they?
Unfortunately.
to all dismay, but anyway.
Thanks, Gareth, for that one as well. Yeah, bottled it.
Cheers, Sandro.
Right, cheers, Sandro. And Chiesa. But no, honestly, Tonali, to have him back, it's unbelievable. I was really impressed with his stamina, his endurance. We joked there about him, blowing out his horse, but understandably so. But he mentioned in an interview before the Forest game, he's been working harder and training harder and more often than he has been when he's been playing. And you could see it because he looked like the fittest, strongest player on the pitch for the first half. He was everywhere, man. He was everywhere. And, for the Spurs game, he just does bring that class.
Yeah.
And it's that little bit of brilliance that he's got. For me, his vision's ahead of everyone else. He's passing these people. He's seen it before anyone else even knows what's happening. There's a real player in there, and hopefully he can.
Still young now. He must be only 24.
I think he's 24, isn't he? Yeah. Or was he 24 when we signed him? He's not young at all. Like,
I think it's 23.
Not old at all, shall I say? Right then, that's enough for the Spurs win. Then we're half an hour deep. Please do subscribe and like if you haven't already. On that game, though, lastly, more so, we're not going to talk about it because they were in the stands, though. Is the Saudi owners flew in for that one. Nothing to worry about, apparently, for the Darren Eales and Mitchell, as if you are watching, because apparently it was a routine scheduled flight in. So they wanted to show their support. However, surely there must have been some meetings going on at that failure of a transfer window.
Well, it may have been coincidental, but while you're here, get to business, because there's a lot of things to do.
Stand on
so,
business.
yeah, I'm sure, it might have already been pre-planned before the failure of a transfer window, but, yeah, while you're in town, get into a meeting room, just get a board meeting room, get sorted, and have some words, and be like, lads, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
Because, it was an absolute joke.
Yes, flew all the way from Saudi Arabia. He said, all right, so who's the new player we're looking for today? Is that Mark there?
Let me see where I've put £100 million of my money, please, thank you. You haven't used it.
Oh, what? I don't need it. You should have spent it. You think I need that 100 million?
I make that in a day, man.
Jump change. Don't need that. Should have spent it. Fucking one money, huh? Good job we got the win.
Get my new signing on. This is a shit game.
He's probably looking. That blonde centre back, sorry. How much you spent on him? 60, 70? Oh, Krafth. Lovely. But honestly, you would have been thinking, there must have been talks there. There must have been discussions. There must have been words said, and I guess it has to be a look towards January, and it has to look a planning towards 2025, because it opens up the ability to spend now in January and going forward with having that in the back burner. And we know we were trying to sign players. We know there was money there. 70 million on Gahey was available. 50 million bid rejected for Alanga.
£50 million bid for Alanga. I'm mad. Desperation, that is. Desperate money.
Deadline day desperation.
So we know the money's there. Like you say, 70 million rejected, 50 million rejected. So there's at least 60, 70 to play with. So get it fucking spent. And now the window's closed. We've got 4 months until the window reopens. Better be planning some fucking signings.
I know. Can we just move quick this time, please? Yeah. January 1st.
Get a plan now. Don't get January 20th and be like, who do you want to sign now?
Yeah. How much do they want? How much are we not going to give them?
They want 70 million, do they? All right, so we'll give them about 20. And then maybe it's Krafth in and all. See how that works? Come December 30th, have some fucking plans. Get on the phone before the window opens, make your plans, get your strategy sorted, make sure the funds are available, and go and fucking get some signings within the first week of the window.
Get the Christmas cards in there, really. Get the gifts in, sweep them up, get them ready for January. Yeah.
Didn't send Steve Parrish one, though, could.
No, he's not getting out.
Unless he's going to sell Gahey for 40 million.
Yeah, someone was saying before, Gahey in no man's land for the Chelsea goal, says Jack, and he was like, and
head's gone.
He hasn't looked good at all this season, and that's probably why, I guess.
Probably expected he's going to be leaving, eh? He's already got his bags packed, man. He's put his house up for sale.
I don't know how they've kept a hold of it. I know obviously they lost Michael Elise right at the start of the window, but for them to go into this season, they still have Eze, who scored a great goal.
Oh, Eze's class.
Gahey, it's Adam Morton's obviously coming through. He'll be worth a fortune soon with Parish and being English. So they've done well to keep their players, because you've got to look around, you think, no disrespect to Palace, but they've got to have high aspirations now. But Parish, nice and greedy, keeps a hold of them. But that's been a good window for them in the end. They managed to get 2 centre-backs in a week when they sold Anderson. And they got 2 in.
Must be nice, huh? Don't know what that's like.
Yeah, me neither. But what do you reckon Yassia, our chairman, His Excellency, would have made of the game then? Because remember his first game was obviously Spurs when we got beat 3-2 after the takeover.
I mean, I suppose it depends how he looks at it. That's maybe a good way to look at it. My very first game here was Spurs at home, and we got beat 3-1 despite going 1-0 up within 30 seconds or something on this. Callum Wilson. And then, this time round, 3 years later, we're beating them at home. So, nice little turnaround. But, again, the performance wasn't great. And if they know what they're doing, some people know football, some don't. People like Mike Ashley. there's football owners out there. They ain't got a fucking clue. It's just an investment to them. Some the American business owners, Todd Bowley and stuff. They ain't got a fucking clue what they're doing. It's just business to me. But if you know football, if you know how transfers work and things like that, hopefully he does. And hopefully he can come in and be like, yeah, lads, what the fuck's going on here? You've made knee signings. We've performed like shit. We've had knee possession. We keep losing the ball in our own half. What the fuck's going on? Put your finger at your ass and can do something. And our transfer window closed now, so we can't really do nothing about it. But how?
Apparently it was
explain.
Apparently it was Yassia that signed off on Mitchell, of course, as well. So he was his director of football in the end, and he's got to be getting a bollocking really, because he'd be thinking, why am I giving you X amount of millions a year and you haven't had any improvements off the pitch and you didn't manage to sell anyone for any decent value of money either. So I guess you'll probably be giving him the benefit of the doubt of time, since he only came in the 4th of July or something at Mitchell. So he hasn't had long.
That was just too late, man. We should have had when was Ashworth on his be cutting up his hedges in February or something? Why wasn't his replacement signed by then?
Straight away. I'm not sure if could we not get one?
I don't know if you legally could.
You must,
but you plan knowing fine well he is going to leave eventually. Why don't you have his replacement prepared, ready for him to fuck off on garden, off of his garden and leave, get back to work, put your shares doing, and get your replacement in the next day.
To be fair, we actually got rejected, didn't we? Freeman was the first choice starter for football, remember?
Again, it took too long. We should have had these plans sorted. If Freeman's your guy, make sure that he's agreed to it and ready to go the second the Ashworth's off garden leave. But we left it far too long. There was too much of a time delay in between. So the whole summer's just been an absolute fuck up.
No, it has.
And the big thing is, I know everyone's going to point fingers at the club, but PSR and all that bullshit.
Should get on soon. Thank you, Gary Neville.
Yeah, all that stuff's just been an absolute farce. Our hands have been tied. And I feel sorry for the club because we haven't actually been able to do anything about it. I know we have had at least 70 million to spend because we were going to, and we didn't get it done. So that falls onto the club. But it's just being able to do more and spend more and have other targets instead of just one centre-back and that's it. Knowing fine well that we need a right winger. We didn't get a centre-back, so we tried to get a right winger. That didn't come through either. So it's a bit of both. The club needs to take some responsibility, but also PSR's had bars in a rat trap here.
They have, because obviously the worst part was not getting anyone in, but way before that was back at the end of June when we obviously did have to let go of Minhow. We did have to let go of Anderson, and we never recovered from that.
Yeah.
We never recovered from that. Even getting that money in has helped ease it because we're facing a huge points deduction apparently, but from then to not spend the rest of the summer signing anyone to improve our starting 11 is mad, because we've sat here for weeks and hearing all these rumours, and obviously the Gahey bid was well documented, but to not get anybody, to not have that Tapsoba, Chow, Tamori, the list goes on for alternative centre backs. I mean, we'll be big enough Krafth early in the show, but to expect that from a £4.5 million signing,
no, it's not Kraft's responsibility.
It's mad that we haven't strengthened, but we just got to hope that we don't get an injury crisis on my hand, otherwise it derail everything.
Something that I thought about today, actually, and going back to the right wing position, Gordon and Barnes, like it seems like at least one of them's stepped up to be able to kind of be one new starter. So the other ones have kind of stepped down a bit. It seemed like Murphy won the job earlier in the season. Now it seems like it's Gordon's job. So theoretically, Almiron's kind of like a third choice right winger now. And we spoke about it a few weeks ago before the transfer deadline when Charlotte FC were interested. And I agreed that he was worth more than the supposed 8 or so million that Charlotte were offering. I think we could have got a lot more for it. But in hindsight now, why didn't we just fucking sell him? Because I know 8 million's not a lot, but he's 30 years old, a third choice right winger. In FFP terms, it's money in the door, isn't it? Like
wages now.
Wages off the books, 8 million in the bank. FFP can like triple it, so we're going to go out and spend maybe 30 million on top of what we got for Almiron. So why didn't we just fucking sell him, man?
I know, because he obviously was alright with that move, wasn't he? You'd hope that he wanted that move, didn't want the Saudi move, but especially when he's not. You've seen so far this season, he's not getting any real game time, is he? So, aye. But the window overall, Kev, you had to rate it out of 10.
2.
That's what I gave it now.
Yeah.
And the only 2s I gave it for was, I think Kelly on a free is Ari business, and the other one was for the players we kept.
It's like Krafth business. Like he's not sexy, he doesn't like blow you off your seat. It's just backup and versatile because he can play full back and centre back. So solid option.
Oh, he's good first off.
I'm not mad at it, and especially for free. I think he's a good backup depth signing, but he's nothing startling. The one thing that boggles my mind, and I don't even think I realised it until about last week, is how much we actually paid for Odysseus.
It was just PSO on it,
but that doesn't even make sense. Like, why did we have to do that?
So with them giving us 35 was to help our books, and then they were in the muds. Then we had to give them overinflated fee now for Odysseus. It's rumoured to be 20. We don't know what it officially is, but it's rumoured to be 20.
Even that, but he hasn't even gotten on the bench yet. Like, John Ruddy's been on the bench the last 2 games. The Dubravka was out with an illness.
And now they were trying to get him out on loan, weren't they?
So if we really spent fucking 20 million on a 4th choice goalkeeper.
Just to literally avoid that point deduction from the end of June.
That's mad.
I don't know how we went in for Langer on deadline day. And we're willing to go up to 50 million. Why wouldn't, if we played 20 for this year, why wouldn't we just say, we'll give you 40? 40 in Anderson. Like, you know what I mean? If you're going to spend 20, you may as well spend another 10, 20 on a player you actually use.
I know.
Try and get a Langer for 40 million, say it.
Insane, man.
Instead of a keeper who's going to be 3rd, 4th choice that you're never going to use.
Yeah, so it was seemingly spent like over 20 million pounds on, like, say, a 4th choice goalkeeper. Dubravka's been out for the last couple of games with an illness, back for Spurs, but the 2 games before that, John Ruddy was on the bench.
That shows
Are you telling me fucking John Ruddy's better than our new 20 million pound goalkeeper?
Oh, God. It's worrying if he is because the bloke's nearly 40.
Aye.
He's in League One Birmingham last year.
He was, and we're trying to get Trafford for less than that. Trafford wasn't as much as Billy Odysseus was. Like, I don't understand, man. The whole window has just been balmy.
That shows the real bad business, I guess, an organisation from the club behind the scenes, because to get into that mess that late and then be doing that type of business is a shambles. Absolute shambles.
And I believe Asula will turn out good. He had his little cameo in the Salah Cup, scored a goal that was ruled out for offside, but we spent £15 million on a 3rd choice striker that hasn't scored a Premier League goal in 28 games. There were 2 money signings. £20 million on a 4th choice goalkeeper, £15 million on a 3rd choice striker that hasn't scored a goal.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
And a couple of freebies. Like, I know that was Lewis Hall, but I don't really count Lewis Hall because we was here last year. I know he counts, but he doesn't really. And then free John Ruddy, free Kelly. Fucking horrible window.
Oh, awful.
Terrible.
I only give it a 2 for keeping Gordon, Bruno and Isaac.
Yeah, that's been our best business.
Yeah.
And trying and failing, negotiating for a month or so with Crystal Palace. We'll give you 50 million, we'll give you 60 million, we'll give you 65 million, we'll give you 70 million, and then them just saying no to each one. So what was the point in that? Then last minute, desperately trying to sign Alanga, showed desperation that an art stank of desperation.
Awful.
£50 million for Alanga. No, thank you.
I would have been devastated if you had accepted
I'd have been fucking foaming. I'd have taken him. I like him, but not for fucking 50 million.
30 or something, max. They only paid 15 a year and a half ago.
Horrible,
2 years ago.
Horrible business.
Because Alanga, all the Forest fans, when that came out on Sky Sports, that it was a 50 million was the second bid that got rejected. That came out a couple of days after.
Why did they reject that?
And all the Forest fans on Sky Sports and on the replies on social media were like, "Are you insane? Rejecting 50 million
Why did
for
he
Alanga?
reject that?
What's he got? I think it's 9 assists and 5 goals at Forest.
He's a decent player, but
I think Eddie
easily
Howe,
worth 30.
He stinks of an Eddie Howe signing as well. It's like Anthony Gordon.
You wanted him, you wanted him, and that's fair enough if you want them. But
I think it'd be good for us.
Get him 2 months again,
but he's not.
Exactly. Until there's fucking 3 hours left in the transfer window and try high 50 million at them.
Forest, to be fair, Forest, they're probably thinking there's fucking 2 hours left here. We're not going to get a replacement.
Well, that's probably why. Like, I think they would have accepted 50 million, but we left it too little, too late. And they're like, all right, anyways, we'll sell you Alanga. Then we've got 2 hours to go and replace him. All right,
4 months.
Big chance.
So it would have been close. Forest probably had a quick look and thought, put the word out, is there a right winger who can get me? Maybe is there, again, with that one, apparently Almiron was trying to be chucked into negotiations at one point.
Should have.
You would have hoped that would have been a sound little deal, that.
Almiron in 20 million or something.
But whatever they tried, all these different rumours, all these different bids, it was, again, as we said before, just summed up the summer. Yeah. Disorganised, shambolic mess.
Yeah,
to be fair,
awful.
And I'm sick of talking about it. So we're going to move on to on this one, Amanda Staveley. Now there's an article out the other day from the Mail that was saying that she was forced out of the club, and Darren Eales wanted to take the reins. So he was apparently going back to PIF and saying, I couldn't do this. This decision couldn't get made because Amanda and Gudusi are butting in and stuff. So. Just quickly on that, Keg, the rumour that, she was forced out the club. She didn't want to leave. It wasn't a plan to leave. And that was that.
I don't know what to make of it. Sounds like tabloid shite from the Daily Mail. Not really the most reliable of sources, really. But I can kind of see both ways. But I think what they said when it came out, they might have been trying to sugarcoat it to not put the club into a bad light. But they did say, Eales had came in to be taking them jobs anyway. So Eales was taking on more responsibility, so they had less to do, which is why they eventually sold 4% of that shares. And he was just taking on more and more. And with Mitchell coming in, their job was pretty much being done, so they didn't need to do it. And with the investment kind of thing, as we mentioned at the time, they're investors. I don't think that was ever meant to be any kind of long-term commitment here for them, at least. They were the middlemen really trying to do the business between the club and the Saudis to make sure that the deal got done and that they hired 10% of their own money in to make sure that happened. So, yeah, I don't know if it was ever really the long-term plan. So I call bullshit on this link, but I kind of believe it as well. I can kind of see it being truthful as much as I don't think that it is.
I would say that it's probably 50-50 in the sense that I can't see it being... She was entirely forced out, pushed out.
That's the headline, isn't it? Forced out.
Sensationalized tabloids. But I think there was a part where, Amanda even touched on it, to be fair, with that interview with The Athletic afterwards, where she's saying, just wasn't really needed around the place anymore because Eales is there, Mitchell's there, Silverstone's there. They've got everyone in all these positions now.
Yeah, that's what they came in to do, to put these people in them positions.
She wasn't, doing anything that she was originally doing a year or two ago, like we've seen on the Prime documentary. She's no longer in boardrooms trying to ring Everton and get Anthony Gordon saying, she's not trying to get Palace to agree to gays.
She fucking should be.
I know.
Get her back.
Bring her back. Force Mitchell out. No, obviously hope Mitchell comes good when he's given time for it. But yeah, Staveley was solid in negotiations. The players that she managed to bring in. So, and his dad says she's linked with Spurs now, so that would be awful if that happened, because you can see that happening, and then them getting lots of money. Yeah. So that would be awful. What we've got then? Title of the podcast. Totally took 48 minutes, 45 seconds to get into it. Gary Neville sticks up for Newcastle United. Gary Neville was speaking about PSR and financial fair play after the Man U Liverpool game on Sky Sports on Sunday evening. Keg, did you see the interview and what he said?
I did, yeah. Highlights, yeah. I've seen it on Twitter. I think Neville probably gets a bit more stick than is credited for, because I think he's kind of comes from that Man United background, so people just fucking hate him. But I've seen him stick up for Newcastle before, and I've heard him say, I think it was on the overlap, where he said Newcastle should be able to go and spend money. So he has backed the takeover and stuff in that way, whereas other people on panel shows and on Sky and stuff have tried to undermine Newcastle and say, they shouldn't be allowed to spend this money, blah, blah, blah. I think Neville's always stuck up for us, so I'm not surprised that he said this. So, yeah, I think fair play to Gary Neville. I think he has backed us since the takeover. He has said that we should be able to go and spend money. And I think what he did say was absolutely spot on. And I feel like I'm glad that somebody in mainstream media and on Sky Sports is coming out and saying it, because I think it's just, we've always been against the world, even before the takeover. Yeah. But since the takeover, it's the Saudis, it's blood money, it's sports washing, bloody human rights, all this shite. Everyone just is making up these things for us to fail because they don't want to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And for you that don't know what Gary Neville said, this is one of the quotes here. He said, PSR was never designed so the teams have to sell their best academy players. Something needs to change. As it just jumps off the screen, that's helpful. Something needs to change dramatically in the next 12 months. Newcastle should be able to invest in the squad so they can get to the level of Man City and other clubs. We're holding them back in this moment.
Yeah, we're holding them back, that's right.
And he wants us to compete with Man City. There you go.
And you go back to like Chelsea's takeover, Abramovich, and City's takeover with Sheikh Mansour. Like, they were spunking money right, left, and centre. And in some aspects, I'm kind of pleased we aren't doing that, because say like we went and just blasted like 500 million in every transfer window and won the Premier League within 2 years, then that kind of wouldn't have felt organic. And I felt like since the takeover, with that first window, like Dan Burn and Matt Target and Chris Wood and stuff, like we were trying to do things like the organic way and just build the club brick by brick, because there wasn't very many bricks from Mike Ashley. Mike Ashley fucking knocked all them bricks down and left them in dust. So I had to like just build them bricks slowly. And I'm kind of pleased that we are doing it. Like, what did do it that way, but now we're like 3 years down the line, and we've just had it felt like a bloody Mike Ashley transfer window. I was hoping for a bloody Hamza Chowdhury on loan link at the last minute, or Nabil Bentaleb or something like that. I was hoping that there'd be some fucking Bentaleb rumor. Like, I was getting desperate. I was like that Dave Chappelle meme, like the crackly. You got any more? You got any more of those transfer links?
Even now we're talking about free agents. That's how desperate we're saying still. Bring in Matt if he's 37. bring in some ancient centre backs. Anyone who's on a free.
That's what it feels like. We've gone back in time. We're back in the Ashley era. Like, we're desperate, and like it shouldn't be this way. So on one hand, I'm glad that it's organic, but on the other hand, I'd like the reins to be loosened a little bit. I'd like to be able to fucking spend something.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't agree that anybody, and even us, right, as nice as it would be, should be able to go out and splash silly, endless pots of money that Abramovich's Chelsea did, that Man City, when they first came up, did. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't be allowed to do that, really, because that isn't fair. That makes sense for fair play. But when we can't spend, we can't look at it and think, you know what, we'll just go to 70, 75 million for a defender, or we'll spend that 35 million here, or we'll have to sell Eddie Anderson, we'll have to sell Jan Kuba-Minter. Like he said there, it shouldn't be about getting rid of your academy players. It shouldn't be about us having to sell a Geordie midfielder, born and bred. Yeah. He doesn't want to go. We don't want to get rid of him. But I tell you what, because of PSR, we'll have to flog him. So we don't get a points deduction. It's a disgrace, man. It really is. And hopefully, such a powerful name and a big figure like Gary Neville on mainstream television there saying it makes a change.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll have an impact? Do you think eventually we will see something? Because he's saying it dramatically needs to change. Will the powers that be start looking at this and thinking, right, maybe we should loosen the reins a little bit?
I don't think, because of what Gary Neville says, will make a damn sight bit of impact, because I think that already like stuck in their ways. But from what we've heard, like, things are going to change. I think it's already kind of been set in stone before that. So I think they are looking at other ways to change it and like free it up a little bit. How much is the question? Probably not a lot, but I think they've realized, especially like January. Like, remember how shit January was for everyone.
Nobody did.
Like Timo Werner on loan was the best bloody Premier League signing. Like, that was a horrible window. It's just taking the fun out of the game, really, innit? Like, I know, like, people shouldn't be allowed to go and splash all of their money in one window. I agree with that. But at the same time, teams should be allowed, because it's keeping the game interesting and keeping the game exciting. Like, us going into the season, like, every summer you want to go in and see like a new signing, like it's like a shiny new toy. Like, first game of the season, go in, your new kits, new player, if you've got like a new manager, whatever, like all this newness, like it's exciting. But when you haven't made a signing, say, oh, it's just the same shit as last year, really, isn't it? We just got a new kit, that's it. Like, it's just boring. Like, so that's how you like keep engagement and keep fans engaged. Like, shirt signings, like a big name player, shirt printing, get the revenue of fucking millions. Like, I think when when Pogba signed for Man United or something, they spent like nearly 100 million on him, and I think like they got like like I think over that. I think like 200 million or something within a week in shirt sales. So
that's mental.
Yeah, I think they might have done that for Ibrahimovic, and he was free. So like,
wow.
That's what it is. That you can earn more money by big name sales for like shirts and stuff. So that's what it's about. Like, you just want a big name player just to be excited about and sell their shirts and stuff, and like just not being able to go out and spend a penny. It's just fucking ridiculous in this day and age. Like, where money's power.
In Newcastle United's temporary club shop, when you walk in, on the back of the shirt there is Tonali 8.
New signing.
Because he
gonna pull the wool over our eyes.
Yeah, you see what they're doing there. You mentioned there, it's like that start of the season, something new, something fresh. There's no point in buying the new FIFA every Newcastle fan.
Oh, you know,
same shit. Mode. Play that shit. Win the Champions League, then that's class.
See if it sells some money.
Yeah, see if it sells some money. But yeah, let's hope PSR does change. We need it to change realistically if Newcastle are going to compete. Otherwise, it's going to take years of, again, building revenue, building new streams.
Champions League would have done it.
Yeah. And
Adidas deals, Amazon deals.
Adidas, Red Bull a day.
So Red Bulls.
Newcastle Red Bulls, aye. Yeah. Red Bull Arena. New stadium or expansion? When is it going to happen? I was seeing the video the other day. I think it's the only way they can.
I think eventually it will be a new stadium.
Really, go for it and boost revenue streams.
Yeah. I've never wanted a new stadium. I've always kind of stood that by since the takeover. That I've never wanted to move from St James's Park. Like, I'd be disappointed and a bit devastated if we do. I've always banged the drum for an extension, but how much we can actually extend is questionable with all like the listed buildings surrounding St James's Park. But I think as of this week, as of the failure of the transfer window, I'm starting to sway with it now that it does make sense. And for the city and all, like, you get like gigs and stuff, like Sunderland gets out the gigs. Fuck Sunderland.
No,
like, bring Beyonce here, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I want. Like, like big sporting events, like live music events, like other things, like World Cup games, boxing. Like, it'd be class to have like a multi-purpose arena, which St James isn't really. Like, we've had Sam Fender, I think we had Ed Sheeran a few years ago, but we don't typically get the gigs. Like, you have Beyonce's and Taylor Swift's and stuff will go to Sunderland.
Which is mad.
Which is absolutely fucking bonkers,
But they're all still on the key say because they wouldn't stay in Sunderland. Leicester have won their PSR case, is what a few people are saying here in the chat. Will the leashes finally start releasing, says Dan. So if Leicester have won their case, that's good for them because they were staring down the face of point seduction. So if they get rid of that, Senshi here saying Ronaldo to Italy, obviously when he went to Juve, sold his value plus to pay for it. What's happened with Qual? Is he back from loan? Says Josh. He was meant to be going back out on loan, but he
never did he?
He still hasn't been back out on loan.
Still at the club, but he's not playing.
Still time for people to go out on loans, though, because guess what? We've looped it back around to transfers. Because today, Jamal Lewis has went to Sao Paulo, in Brazil. So their transfer window is still open. Turkey's transfer window is still open until the 30th of September. Touch on someone who might be going there in a minute. But Jamal Lewis there to Brazil, the first British-born player ever to play in that league.
Is he?
How mental is that? And it's Jamal Lewis, a Northern Irishman.
That is a mad one, that, to be fair.
Because he was like, I'm so proud to have this title. But to be fair, it is a great title to have.
Oh, it is.
I believe that, me.
I didn't know that, to be fair. But it does, like, ring true. Like, I can't really, obviously never thought of, like, English or British players playing in Brazil. But that is a mad one. When I seen that room, I was like, Sao Paulo? Jamal Lewis has got in Sao Paulo. That's like a mad one. That like it's a class move for him, to be fair. Like, he's still like 25, 26 or something. He's still quite young. Yeah. Like, he's had a bit of a failed career since coming to Newcastle, a couple of loan spells. But Sao Paulo, fucking mad. Go for it, son.
Go for it.
I'm rooting for him. But is he out of contract next year? Is this his last year of his deal? I can't remember.
This is a loan, and then it said it was a loan with an obligation to buy. But we all thought he was going to
be a free agent anyway.
Ran out in 2025. So how is it an obligation to buy? Because
is he contract till 26?
So that kind of looks like it hasn't got an expiry next year.
I thought this was the last year of his deal, but
everyone thought it was, but strange.
Anyway, cracking for him. Good luck to him. Hope he does well.
It's a really good for him. I like it how he's got the balls to go for it now. A lot of players don't go unless it's huge money, which it's not going to be. They're not going to take that risk, take that gamble, because he could have played it safe. Listen, he was on loan at Watford last year. They liked him. He could have went back somewhere else, but he got the choice between Watford or Sao Paulo. Yeah. Just
keep your wits about them.
Same crime rates, better weather. Brazil's where it's at.
Better beaches.
Good guy. Sorry, better
beaches.
Oh, I thought you said something else there.
Keep yourself off the volleyball court.
Finally, though, Trippier, still linked away. Transfer window may be closed. Turkey's isn't. And there's 3 Turkish teams linked with him to take him to the Kebab League. Do you think you'll go there for a little cheeky dollar? Hair transplant? New teeth?
I suppose it depends on the offer, really. Like, I think he'll stay now. I think, like, with the window being closed, and you seen him on the sidelines the other day, didn't he? He was like a manager. Like, he was like Ronaldo in the 2016 Euro Cup final. Like, when he got injured, he was like on the sideline, like pushing the manager out of the way, like picking the team up. Like, I think he'll stay, and we've loaned out Harrison Ashby now and all, so we're a little bit strapped at right back. So, I think he'll stay, but again, it depends on the offer. If one of the 3 teams come in with a genuine offer, maybe particularly if it's a big Jose. If Jose wants him, I think that's an intriguing move. Going to play with Big Maxi,
in Europe as well.
Jose and Maxi, that would be interesting for him. So if Fenerbahce come calling and offer him big wages, or it's probably going to be a loan, but depending on the wage split, like, could work for him. But I think for us, with the window being closed, we can't replace him now. So I'd say just keep him.
Not when the rumour is a loan.
Yeah.
Why on earth are we going to do that?
Out of contract?
Unless he's desperate to leave, which obviously he apparently did hand in the request in. He knows he's not a cap anymore. He knows Tino's the starter. So unless he forces a move, but apparently just have a very good relationship with Howe, doesn't make sense at all now getting rid of him when we can't get someone else in. No. Obviously, Krafth will be there when Shaw comes back, but I think you have to keep him now. It's actually pointless.
I'd keep him, yeah.
Unless Mourinho and they want to pay 20 million for him or something.
Give him a big bonus or something.
Yeah, but got to keep him now at this point, haven't we?
Yeah,
got to keep him now.
Definitely.
Right then, Peter, let's finish off quickly on England. You haven't talked about them enough this summer, have you? Trippier. Nice little link there, to be fair. Obviously, announced his international retirement last week, so he won't be featuring for the 3 Lions over the next week. They do play Ireland on Saturday night in the Nations League, and then Finland next Tuesday. So, Carsley's England.
Carsley's Lions.
Young Lions. Well, I'll tell you what I do like about Carsley is his old man.
Changed it up, yeah.
Angel Gomez got a call.
That's an interesting one.
I forgot he was alive.
Didn't see that one coming,
he got there, obviously, Madueke, he's brought these players through that he's obviously liked at the youth levels.
That's what we kind of bigged him up for. Like, he's not like the biggest, flashiest, sexiest name. Like, he's not like a superstar, but he won the Euros with England without conceding a goal.
James Trafford.
Yeah, so he knows
Anthony
these
Gordon,
guys. He knows Gordon and Palmer and Madueke and Tino
Livramento,
Morgan Gibbs-White and Angel Gomez, people like that. So yeah, I like it, mate.
I'm actually, I wouldn't say I'm excited because listen,
see how they play.
It's a glorified friendliness Nations League.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm looking forward to more than tell you what I wouldn't even watch it with Southgate again this weekend. But I'm looking forward to on Saturday to stick it on to see what the difference is.
Yeah, I want to see how they play. That's the main thing. I couldn't really give a fuck about the team.
Yeah.
But do we play well? Because we didn't under Southgate.
I'm interested to see
if we play well, then that's the main thing.
We're going to have a new formation for the first time in 6 years. We're going to have a bit more expansive play. We're going to try and press. Like, what's he getting into those this week at St. James's Park before the game against Ireland and Finland? So I'm looking forward to it. Listen, give him a chance. Obviously, I hope he does well, so they didn't come knocking for Eddie Howe, because he'll definitely be next on the agenda. But Carsley at England, at least it's a breath of fresh air.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's exciting, like bringing this new blood through. That was one of me perks to having Carsley. And yeah, hopefully he does play well and it is an exciting style of football and he gets the job permanently because, like you say, it keeps their dirty paws off anyhow. So,
yeah. Dirty, rich FA paws. 6-0, first game against Ireland. Big impression.
It's Jeff Hendrick playing.
Oh, we've got to be legend.
Probably.
Should be. Him and Robbie Keane.
My
mate Shea. Black stick. I'll go 2-0. 2-0 England.
I don't know. I couldn't really predict it, to be fair, because it's a new manager.
Clean sheet, though, Carsley.
A lot of new players. Pubs back in the team. Probably not play.
No, definitely won't.
It was the other ones, Pickford and...
Ramsey got dropped.
Is it not Ramsdale?
Because now he's saying for Southampton, but he got dropped. So it must be...
Is the other one? I can't remember.
Johnstone? Is he still knocking about? Sam Johnstone?
Sam Johnstone. I don't know. I can't remember who the other one is, but it'll probably be Pickford anyway.
Yeah, I'll be Pickford. But you never know, Trafford.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, but I couldn't really give a prediction because I genuinely haven't got a clue. Like you say, this Nations League bollocks is a glorified friendly, so I don't care.
don't care.
Yeah, I lost interest in England
Henderson.
a long time ago. Dean Henderson, that's
Dean
it.
Henderson.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I lost interest in watching England a long time ago. I think even before Southgate, but under the last 8 years with Southgate, I've fucking hated friendlies, Nations League, anything that isn't a major tournament. even during the major tournaments, it's still pretty shit. So yeah, I might give this one a watch and see what it's like, but it's generally so hard to predict. I predict a win because we're better than Ireland, but what the scoreline is, I haven't got a clue.
Can't remember if it's at Wembley or not, or if it's in Ireland on Saturday.
I think it's away, is
it away, aye? I think it might be both away, actually.
Yeah, maybe. That rings a bell, but again, I haven't really paid too much attention to it, so I don't know.
Only pay attention on Friday when the press conference comes around and the game starts on Saturday. But like I say, I'm excited for a change of England and hopefully, well, surely we can't play any worse than we did in our snooze gate. Yes, we got the finals. Ultimately, didn't win, and it was an absolute bore fest watching it every single way. It's in Ireland. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, everyone, for watching us tonight. We'll be going for an hour and 5 minutes. That will do. Great show, essentially. Thanks very much, mate. Please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And remember, warflags.org.uk, War Beer, Anarchy Brew. Google it, get yourselves there. Scan the QR code in the top corner of your screen to get yourselves the brand new limited edition War Beer cans. They are tremendous. Absolutely lovely. Lovely. Cheers, Aaron. Cheers, Ian. Cheers, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the evening. See you in the next one. Enjoy yourselves. Bye.